Dave here. How are you? Today is, how are you? I should put a bit more enthusiasm into that, shouldn't I? Today is the 7th of March 2021. And as promised, I said as soon as my shirt came from Cat6A, it's cat6a.org. Check the description box down the bottom if you want a sexy shirt like this and help them out. Now, these are not cheap shirts. It is a fundraiser, so don't be shocked when you pay a few dollars for these things. It's worth it. These people, it's as rare as possible to get this condition. You're born with it. You have no choice in the matter. It doesn't come from your parents or anything. It's just bang. There's a couple of letters missing in one of the integral parts of what's happening up here. That's why it's called Cat6A. And, you know, these people are people. And they're fully emotional, all that kind of stuff. Totally able to love all that. And they need our help. So, no blue shirt, Angus. Almost stayed too long watching Cole. Okay, sounds all good. Thank you very much for that. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to do. You can do it right now if you want to. Go and buy a shirt. Why not? Okay, so this week, shirt as promised. Let's make a table saw sled and infeed support. Now you'll notice I'm down here at the table saw at the moment. Over there is where Zoe's sign and the infeed table is. But this is going to be a smaller infeed that we're going to attach to the front. Now I know it's an old idea. There's a lot of people that will say, yes, I don't understand it. It is a fundraiser. Yes. Okay, so read up about Cat6A as well. You'll find it's very hard to find any information about it. All right, morning, Michael. Where was I? All right. If you don't have the same style of table saw that I've got, as in a bias-mayor fence across the front, you might have a smaller saw that doesn't have the same kind of ways of connecting onto it. I can't help you out right at the moment. I need to actually stand in front of something and look at it for a long time, and then the brain starts ticking over what I need to do. And I've worked out a way of doing it quite easily on this. So a lot of people will be able to get the idea. As I say, it's not my idea. I saw this, it was possibly a couple of years ago, I saw someone from a men's shed in Australia had done this. I thought that's a great idea. And then recently some YouTubers have jumped on board and I think they're actually selling them. So if you want to buy one from them, go for it, or you can make one yourself, which is dead easy. All right, the next thing, Woodworking Whiskers Monday meetup is on again tomorrow night. That's Australian time. It's not me, so you might be worth watching it. It's another Australian maker, so tune in, and I'm sure Ash would appreciate you hopping in for 10 minutes and just watching about another Australian maker. Next thing, the winner of the pair of G6 eye muffs. More on that later. And the hue and pine chunk from Art Cop. Look at this thing. Now, I don't know if you're aware of how rare hue and pine is, but look at this. How cool is that? Now, there's a bit of checking there. This camera might be actually better than the phone that I used to have a look at it the other day. But it's got some bird's eye in there. The end grain, there's around 250 growth rings in this one piece. And you can see from the outside, this was no small tree. This is just a little section. When I get myself organized properly, there is the circumference on the outside. I think this was where they've just cut a branch off it maybe. Beautiful. Ash, you've got it there, have you? Excellent. All right. Now, that was given to me by a gentleman called Art Cop. He says it's K-O-P, not the ones that chase you. All right. We're starting a very big project next week. So if you're interested in a project that's going to take me possibly 6 weeks to do, keep tuning in. I'll tell you what the project's going to be at the end of the show when I announce the winner of the G6 eye muffs. All right, let's get into it. The thing that we're going to make, there is the plan. It is pure and simple, dead easy to do. I'm going to use a piece of Merbo to slide down between the 3-inch by 2-inch RHS steel section across the front here, which my rip fence rides on. And the top is going to be hew and pine. No, it's not. The top is going to be birch ply. And it's going to be very easy to do, I hope. I'm going to hold onto it, clamp it onto the rail using a one of these little lever clamps. It's a Bessie one. So I'll show you how we're going to do it all as we go along. What else have I got? I've got a little bit of a video from Wally Bronson. Now remember, Wally sent some stuff into us last week. He had that amazing spindle that he turned using a router on his own homemade jig, which was fantastic. Adventures in Wood, hello from Vancouver. G'day, how are you, buddy? Keeping a go. This is a nice shirt. You like it? People have been saying you're getting skinny, Dave. Well, maybe it's this shirt that makes me look a little bit thinner, but I have been trying to lose a bit of weight because, you know, as you're getting older, you hear about all these people dying of heart attacks, especially men, and if you put it on around here, you're a prime candidate. So I noticed it was starting to come on board, so I've been reducing the amount that I'm eating, not just going, why? You know, you just get into a habit of just filling your guts up until you're satisfied, and then it's too late. You've already eaten too much. So I'm on purpose reduced the amount, and I've dropped 4 kilos in 2 weeks, which is nearly 9 pounds in American speak. Do you know what the name of the imperial system is? You might be surprised. I know what it is, because I like to research these things. It's a French word. It's called avoir de poids. There you go. Let's get stuck into it. I'm going to show you why I want this sled supported, because when I bring it back here, that happens. If I've got some timber sitting in here as well, it's even worse, and it starts to do this. It's very, very dangerous. I want a support here to be able to look after me. I've already got my assembly table back here that's exactly the same height as my table saw. So for big sheets, I'm fine to put things through here, but my sled, it's a different thing. Must be freedom units. I don't know. Well, I think it does. Portion control, that's the whole thing. It's, you know, I haven't seen any specialized weight diets. I'm not doing any of that. I'm making sure plenty of vegetables, plenty of protein. I'm skipping a meal during the day and having a replacement thing instead. And I'm eating a lot of baked chicken, no skin. What else? Plenty of mushrooms, plenty of water, and a bit of fruit here and there. Nuts, almonds, I should say in particular. None of the other nuts. Like if you eat peanuts, they're full of fat. Forget that. Olive oil, a fried egg in the morning, olive oil, it's good for you. It's better for you than a boiled egg. Did you know that? There you go. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to spin the camera around. I'll go to the other camera. Corey, how are you? And I put a new lens in my eye muffs. And you might notice that, like, how cool is that? It's like glasses when they get dirty, you don't even realize. And you think, oh, I can't see, must get a new pair of glasses. Well, the thing is with these things, I wasn't pulling them down to protect my eyes because I was finding it hard to see through because they were getting scratched. You know, it's plastic, they're going to scratch in time. So I fixed that. And now, perfectly clear. I can see as clear as a bell. Glasses, earmuffs, everything protected. Let me see. I'll turn the other camera on and we'll go around and get stuck into it. Love your channel. Thanks, Ivan. Let me see if we got that. Here we go. Dust extractor on. And open up the dust port there. Got it. And the other day, I'll just mention this quickly. When I was doing the hue and pine, I had this open to full width. I should have pulled that right the way out, and then I wouldn't have had to have done this waltz around the thing. So I can do that, and I can also, this is the timber we're going to get ready. The back of it's got a it bows this way, so I'm putting it up that way, so the bow is like so. I'm not going to use my fingers over the top of here. I'm going to use my push blocks, and we'll push it through, and everything's going to be safe. Here we go. Now, I wasn't pushing down heavy on that at all. I'm going to have a quick look. I'm going to give it one more pass and apply even lighter pressure. I'm going to let that one drop down. See that? See that thing there? That drops down. I can hook it over the back of the piece of wood, so I don't have to push so hard down on it. There we go. Beautiful. Because what can happen is you can push the bow out without even knowing it, and that's not going to be any good. How nice is that? It's just the absolute duck's guts, that machine. I love it. All right, over to the other camera again. There is no snipe on it. It's beautiful. You show me. Have a look. Can you see any snipe down there whatsoever? Right at the end, I'll show you as close as you can go. And the other end, magic. All depends on how you set it up. Now, I spent half an hour tuning that machine when I bought it. Well, I took 1 millimeter in that pass. Wonder if you're making something similar to infeed pad that Izzy Swan makes. Chewy, I did mention at the beginning of the show, all that kind of stuff. That YouTubers were making them and selling them. But as I say, this is something I saw in a men's shed many years ago. All right, next thing to do is to rip this. I'm going to move my Stanton bench along a little bit, out of the way. And the toggle clamps out of the way there. And where is my blade guard? Here it is. It's only a small cut, but how many times have you said to yourself, it's only a small cut, I won't worry about putting the guard on? Well, you're an idiot waiting for an accident. You really are. And I've been an idiot waiting for an accident too. You know, just, why would you? It's there, time me to put the guard on. Oh, here's the dog. Hello, Nessie, how are you? What? Come here. Come and say hello. There we go. Don't cut yourself on the saw. She was desexed yesterday. So she's kind of a little bit needy. Are you a good girl? Okay, down you up. There you go. Look out. Don't move over the cables. Look out. Out. I might have to put her outside in a minute. Oh, I better just change the cameras. I was talking to the wrong one. Thank you, David. You gents see me. All good now. I'm an idiot. So it didn't take long. I'll get the dog. Where is she? Nessie. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. No. All right, come around this side. I'm not getting the dog. I'm going to put her outside. This is going to be dangerous having her in here. Come on. Out you come. Out you go. Done. Dog door shut. And she just ran into it. I'm a bit cruel. Distractions while you're using machine, not good. Okay, the camera's working out. Here you go. Look at that. That's what you're wanting to look at. There is absolutely no snipe whatsoever. Is that all right? Ah, dear. So anyway, it only took me a couple of seconds to switch that over. Put that up there and pull that one. All right. Make sure that that's going to be fine. Pull this across. We need this to be, what width did I want? I want it 20 millimeters. So I'm going to do it to 20 22, and you can watch it go through the saw again in a minute. Drop that down. Now I'm going to cut this, because it's a short piece, I'm going to run it through and then stop and then run it through again. Flip it over. I'll turn this down a little bit so you can see what's going on. Yes, sometimes I wonder. All right, where are my eye muffs? I thought to myself, I might cut everything up ready, but then what's the fun in that? If I cut it all up before the show, well, we haven't got a show, have we? There we go. All right, that's all good. That's good. That's not going anywhere. That's open, all that's done. Make sure it's locked. I'm taking it through till we're just past the blade guard. I know where everything is because I'm not going to put the fingers past this point here. Okay, stop it with my knee. See that? So I've gone most of the way, or more than half of the way. I'm going to flip her over this way and do the other end. Now when I do that, when I do this, I have to be careful I don't push and pinch this because it's going to start wanting to grab the blade. So I'll push it through, pushing down on it, and then when I feel it's loose, I'll turn it off with my knee on the switch down here. Again, pushing down on the top. Well, I'm not pushing down behind the wood, I'm pushing it down onto the table. I'm through. Just let it stop. Done. Now that's why I took a little bit more than what I'm going to take it over to there, but it's a pretty good cut, but that's why I made it 22. I want 20. It's going to drop into there. I'll take, you excited? I'll take a pass off over there. Remember to turn the cameras, otherwise you'll all be jumping up and down and say, Dave, Dave. Far forward as it'll come. Back up against there. And the guard back into position. Now, I need to lower that down as low as it'll go to make sure that that will still go over. Yes, it will. All the fun stuff. Turn her on. Turn the blower off. Actually, I might leave the blower on for a second because I'm going to dress an edge now. We'll dress this edge. And looking at that grain, it's pretty straight, but I will put this end in first. I won't be using push blocks this time. I'll be holding it here and here, and just using the fingers this time. If I use blocks, I could create a problem for myself. That's pretty cool. Okay, we've got to rip this to 65. And I'll remember to swing the camera back. What, put it through the thicknesser? If I put it through the thicknesser to do that, my saw's set up at 90 degrees, so I don't really need to put it through the thickness planer. Also, that's a multi-purpose machine, so I'd have to flip it and raise the table up. Takes a couple of minutes, don't really have the time. Angela, because I am not going to put my fingers right in there. That's very, very tight. I'm not going to have the blade exposed like that whilst this is happening. Can you see why, if this is spinning, I don't want my fingers within cooey of that bloody blade. That's why I start from the end, push, turn it off, let it stop, end for end, push it through again. Much, much safer. All right, now, what do we want there? I want 65. So again, I'll just take it a little bit more than 65. And you know what? It's perfect. Don't have to worry about it. All right, what's my next thing? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this sheet of Huon, oh, it's not Huon, sheet of ply. And I was going to cut it as well earlier, but then I thought, can you see that all right? Maybe bring it along a little. I was going to cut it, no, the other direction. There, that's better. I was going to cut it earlier, and I started. I thought, no, you guys might want to see this part. So I'm going to use the HKC. Right. Too narrow space for the push sticks. This wood is not even, just over 3/4 of an inch wide, thick that way. The guard on this is hanging out this way at 1/2 inch. It's 1 inch overall. So there's only 1/4 of an inch in there, and it's just too dangerous. All right, so what I'm going to do is use the HKC. And for people that haven't seen what this thing does, you're in for a surprise. So I'll take it off the track. Now the HKC is basically an ordinary circular saw that's battery powered. And it's also got a plunge capacity, so it can ride on Festool's tracks. This track here is a specialized track, and only the HKC can run on it. So there's 3 different types. There's the HKC 55, 85 and 135. There may even be a bigger one. That's how deep the cut is. 135 millimeters, that's over 5 inches deep. So the blade's like this. It'll cut more than my table saw will. It's a monster. Anyway, so this thing I can set up angles all over the place. On the back are 2 stops, and this is going to hold me at 90 degrees at the moment. Okay, so we slide it on to the track, and you notice just here, this is a piece of basically top hat section. You can see at the end. Now that's what holds the base of the saw onto the track. So I can't use my ordinary TS55 on this track, but this saw will work on my ordinary tracks. Got it? And I also need to put a battery in it. Anytime I'm working on a blade's, on a machine's blade or setting it up, pull the battery out. Only takes a second. Done. Like that. Stay safe always. So now I'm going to slide it down. It's going to rest on those 2 points. There we go. I'm going to hold it here. There's my mark I want to go to. Like so. And I'm going to come in from the end. Square off here, hopefully. Come in a little bit further. Like so. Down a touch. All good. There we go. Keep that battery over there. Now we've got to dock this down to 250. I'm going to dress these first. Yep. Yes, there is the bag. This is a dust collection bag on the back. This is a carpenter saw more than a joiner saw. So, you know, it's for outside. All right. All right, now I'm going to run this over the jointer. Give me a second. And as okay, back to this one. There we go. Alrighty. Now that's the cut that I just did with the HKC. It's not bad, but it's a bit rough here and there. And that's the other one I did with it. Not bad either. So let's run these through. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? I'll tell you, it's the best machine. Absolutely beautiful. I'll take the glass off the back of this one. All right. Back to here, which include the brand name of Dave's saw, and it disappeared again. Huh. There you go. I have no idea. 129 watching. It's a big day. Isn't it a magic machine? I love it. Nice. I've heard some say that you should avoid using ply on a jointer. Well, if you want to, doesn't worry me. Now, you might notice that this is a little higher there. If I bring that other camera around to there and face it back this way, you might see a bit more. Might do that. I'm going to push that over there. That's the fence out of the way. Actually, that's the right width now, I think. It has to be narrower than the two miter slots. See what I mean here? The miter slots, I want my sleds to be able to travel, and then I'm going to put it over on this one, and it'll allow my single sled to travel, and then it can also go anywhere along here to support something else. Now that's down lower than the top of the table there. You may or may not be able to see that, but it's all going to work. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dock this down to 250, because that's what width I need. $250 millimeters. I'll trim the end off first. Okay, so that's the rough end, and that's the one I just cut. 250 is there. So the measurement's here, but this block is this long, which counters for me being able to put this fence right up to 0. That's my stop point. So now I will be cutting that off, and I could use the clamp, or I could use this fellow here. This is called a $10 million stick. It's got rubber, rubber, and rubber, and you go like that, and it doesn't let anything move. And my fingers are right out of the way. There we go. So that's my short little piece there that I want. And it's going to go onto the underside of there. But before I do that, what I want to do is cut a little bit of a shape here, like this. Now, why do I want to do that? Well, I always approach the saw from the left-hand side. So everything's on my right-hand side as I feed things through. I'm pushing up against my fence, which is on the right-hand side of the blade. So what I want to do, g'day Len, how are you, buddy? So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this isn't here. I'm bumping into it because that's not very comfortable. So I need something that's going to look after me. So let me see if I've got a pencil. And I always use some kind of a can or whatever I can find that's a nice large diameter. What have I got that's a large diameter? Well, I tell you what I do have. It's one of these. This is part of the dust extraction system that I'm going to install. Now, I've said that I'm going to do it for so many times, haven't I? But this week I've been preparing solar panels to go on the roof, and they go in on Tuesday. So I wanted to make sure everything was ready. So I haven't really got a lot done in my workshop. So what I'm going to do there is put that in line there, create a bit of an arc here, and then another one back the other way. Spin it around so you might be able to see it. Basically on the tangent. And then we can go straight until we get to the end. And up there we'll go like that. And then join the dots. Ordinarily, I'd probably use a French curve. How's that look? All right, so next thing to do is to cut that. I'll use the jigsaw. And it's very rare that I do use dust extraction with the jigsaw. I'm going to move this around here a little further. About there. Because I find hoses tend to drag. Cole, how are you, buddy? So I'm going to switch the cameras again down to there. And we've got that like so. Again, I always take the batteries out whenever I change blades. And jigsaw's always a good idea to wear earmuffs, eye muffs, whatever you want to call them. I'll tip that up just a little, about there. That'll pick me up a bit better. Yep, put that blade cover down. Why have it up? Doesn't need to be exposed. Right, let me see. I'll start off here. I've got the Carvex in strobe mode, and I'm not seeing a whole lot down there because there was quite a fair bit of dust, but that's good enough. I don't care. That'll give me plenty of room to use the roundover tool and to clean it up on the sander. Yeah, so when it's in strobe mode, it freezes the blade so you can see it. Have a look. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I can read Festival on it. When I turn it off, amazing. Change the cameras. Whoop, wrong one. I could use the bandsaw jump, but it's way down there, and I want to try and get through this in one hit if I can. So, the cut's not too bad. All right, so now I'm going to drop that in there, drop that on there, and then I need to chamfer that as well, I think. Let me see. I want this, come back over to here. I want this surface to be in line with the top of the saw. So I need to chamfer off the section of the rail there. Now I will bring the camera around. Down to here so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. That should be okay. Yeah, the poor old dog wasn't happy that I'd shut her outside, but unlucky. Let me see what the other camera's like. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, I'll switch over. Oh, yeah, I'll switch over anyway. Camera 3. Come on. There we go. Wasn't too hard. So this thickness here, which is 18 millimeters, that's down way too low. I'm up too high now. That's the rail, is the steel angle is too high. So I need to shave off an arris down there, take the chamfer off, which I'll do over here using a hand plane. And what better plane to use than my own? Here we go. Let's have a look. Does a nice job. Beautiful. All right, now, still got to take a bit more. See how effortless it is for me to hold it when it's on the grip tape? There we go. Takes it off nice and quick. That's perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's magic. Now, even though that is going to keep me up higher, I don't care at the moment, because when I've got it all built, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plane it off the bottom of that block. And I'm going to put a fillet under here, which is going to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. So the next thing for me to do is do a little trick that I saw a woman who does intarsia do. This is fun. I'm going to switch the camera over again. Don't you have a big... Of course I do. I've got Arthur's drying plane there, which I could have used. It's bigger than that, but this is just my favorite plane. I love making it, and it does a beautiful job. There's plywood. Now, it's very hard to get plywood shavings like that, unless you buy them. No, not really. This is Jarrah. This is Padauk. This is rock maple. This is red gum. And this is a Veritas PMV 11 blade. Very, very, very nice. And for people that haven't seen it before, there are magnets on the side for when I put the jointer fence that I made for it. I'll get the jointer fence and I'll show you. It's always pretty to see it. And it is made out of Brazilian bloodwood and rock maple. So that's the Brazilian bloodwood there, rock maple on the other side. And it slides onto there like that. So that's my jointer. It keeps me at 90 degrees perfect to the sole of the plane. And it's all in the same design that I did. And I just love this to bits. And we made it on the show. People watched me make it on the show. It was fun. Took a few weeks, like the next project that I'm going to do will take a few weeks, but it's good fun. Did you rest your plane on the blade? Doesn't matter if I do, just as long as I don't do it on a cast iron top. That's PMV 11 metal. It's not going to damage it whatsoever. Right. And if you speak with Lee Nielsen, they will tell you, don't ever put your plane on its side. Always put it blade down. They say that you're going to have more chance of damaging your skin if you go to pick it up and you'll cut yourself open. They said, if you, look, honestly, on wood, you got me going now. On wood, I am dragging this thing backwards. I'm forcing it backwards and forwards. That is a whole lot more trouble to that blade than just putting it down like that. It really is. I know at tech, we're all taught, don't put a blade, don't put it down like that, put it like that, or get a rest, put it down like that. I know all that, but I think that's what they were told to say. No, I'm just going to put it, there we go. Got me not thinking properly. All right, next thing. We shall line that up so it's back around about 2 millimeters. And I'm going to drill a hole. Now I'm going to drill my pilot hole right the way through. So I've got a few drills set up. So this is a 2 millimeter drill bit in here. So it's what, around about 3/16? If that? No, not even that. It's 3/32, closer to that. And so I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put it just over the top, back a little. And press down on it very hard. Of course you are, John. And then I'm going to drill a hole here. And one at the other end. Put that down, keeping a lot of weight on it, and one right in the center. Excellent. Now, I could have put a whole lot more screws in, but I don't really need to. Now, what I do need to do is put a little mark here, X, and I'm going to put an arrow like that. So now I can put a face mark like so. And now I know that this side is going to, it's just, you leave these little marks and it keeps you in the right place. Multi-show project, right, did you ever get, no, he's been sending me plenty of videos and pictures of how to do it though. So I'll have to help him out and do it one day. Now, I'll drill a couple of clearance holes. I'm just going to use the Amana tool device and it works brilliantly. And I did say I could have put a heap more screws in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dominoes in here as well. Not today, but I'll do it later on. I'll push down on that, I think. Beautiful. All good. And that's where it's going to go. A bit of glue. I'll use the I'll use this stuff. And if you've got it, if you've left it sit for a while, what you can do, tap it like that. And that shakes it up really quick. I didn't mean to bring attention to you there, Ted. It's just, it's if you want to put your blade plane on its side, that's fine. I understand. It is old school that we were all taught to do that. But these days they're saying don't. You know, I always second guess myself. When I put a plane down, I go, oh, should I or shouldn't I? Just rub that in a little bit. These are the most economical glue brush you'll ever buy. Rub it up, and what happens? It gets hot and dries out, and next thing you know, you're all good. Some screws. I'm going to put it in the position again where it was. And this one on top. I think it's about there. We'll find out in a second, won't we? Gotcha. And you find, the screw will find that pilot hole and pull you into the right spot. That's why I drilled the pilot hole first. So it's gone through here and there, perfectly aligned everything up while I had it squished in. And that's why also I didn't have this piece of timber underneath here, that bit of Merbo. I didn't have it the right thickness. I wanted it to be sitting up proud so I could do all of this and push hard against it. You see, it just pulled in. And it's also holding, and the rotten thing's just split on me. That's all right. Okay. Yes, it just split at the end. So I'm going to back that screw out and put a shorter one in. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put a clamp on there. Let me see if it's going to work. Beautiful. No, shorter screw, definitely. And then we'll plane that off. That's him. Gotcha. That's better. So now I have, that thing looks like a grand piano. And it can sit in there, and it's probably going to be beautiful as is, but we need to do some more things to it. We've got 10 minutes to go. So what I'll do is put the clamp on it. Something that I wanted to show you. So we're going to use the toggle clamp. Slide this back up there. And we've got those guys there. And a couple of drill bits. We'll go to this other camera to the side, camera 3. Yeah, look, you can go and buy one of these things if you want to, but why would you? It doesn't take long to make one. And as I say, this area here keeps me safe. This is the thickness between my two miter slots, So my sled can still travel through there easily. What I was going to do is trim that down. I might do that trimming on the table saw a little bit later on, because I can measure the depth and I just set the rip up and I just go straight through, or I can do it with a plane. See what happens. Anyway, we're going to put this under here, just there, and it's going to push against there softly. Don't do it too tight. Now the reason I've glued and I've screwed and I'm going to domino as well, I want to make this mechanically strong, even stronger than glue. So when I put the dominoes in there, they have a 1 ton snap factor, which is immense. So I'll put 3 in, and it'll look really, really nice. So put this in. I'll put a mark in from underneath. Making sure it's parallel. Come on. And 1 to go. Ah. It moved. Not right. Now that it's up this way, I can do it a little better. Beautiful. And I'm using these with a washer. So I think there are 5mm shank on them. So I'll use the 6mm, I think. All right. There we go. Whoop, a bit of splinter there, wasn't there? I bet you're all thinking, Dave, it's going to splinter. Well, it did. Served me right. Brushing again. Okay. A countersink of some sort. Now, where have I got all my countersinks? They're probably back over here. 5 minutes to go. I think we're going to finish it in time. I should have got my countersinks out earlier. Well, that one's way too big. What about this one? No, not there. Drill bits. Found it. I knew I'd find it eventually. All right. Poisonous moths. On holidays next week. It's a butterfly in here. So let's hit these. Pretty snazzy, isn't it? All right. I'm using a washer. I know it's on metal, but I'm using a washer because it's just reduces the friction at that point. When I get the rotten thing on, I was cross-threading it a little bit there. That one does not want to play ball. Let's go with another one, see how we go. Let's see if we put that one through there. And again, I've set it up left-handed, or I'm right-handed. There she goes. And this one. And over to the last two. Yes, I will. It's a very exciting thing that I'm going to be doing there, Peter, with the dust extraction upgrade. I've seen many people go on and on about the benefits of a 6-inch system. And I can see the logic in it and everything. And it just got me to a point where I thought, I've got to do this. I've got to run that drill down the center of that. It's just slightly off. That's got him. Okay. So now, this end here, I can adjust to go in further or back. No, these are Carbotech countersinks that I used. Those guys, it's a pack of 4. The other one is an Amana countersink on a non-marking stop. And it works beautifully. So now when I put that in there, I don't want to give it too much force. You can see, and also when I release that, I can slide it along and put it there. I'll change the video camera back to this one. Okay, so now both of my miter slots have got plenty of clearance. I do need to cut the support. This one here, I've got to rip that down so it can drop in there. And then I've also got to make a packer so that there's not too much weight on the rest of this. So the packer is going to go from here to there. It'll be 6 millimeters thick. I've worked it out to, that's what it'll be. And so that locks on. There's no sideways movement. It's friendly for me now to walk up to it and push timber through and also put my sled on it. Let's get the, it's not going to give you an accurate look at how things happen because the sled is over here. There it is. Because it's still sitting up high. So this is a single sled. Now I'm going to be able to bring that back there or move this like so to the other side of the miter slot, unlock it, and then this is going to support the sled all the way out there. Look at that. Now I could not have done that before, and this is also now going to enable me to make a longer sled. Look, I'll bring it back out to where it was there. Okay, it's going to fall off. Anyway, that's it. That's it. Now, I was going to show you a couple of other things. We've just gone over time, but let me grab my run sheet. We're going to say who won the competition and also have a look at Wally's hidden tool cabinet. Sorry, Wally's hidden TV project. It's something that he got in touch with Matthias Wandel, and let's have a look.
Hey Matthias, it's Wally talking to you from east side of Detroit in Michigan. I just wanted to say thank you for your help with the big print program, and this is my project that I had in mind. It didn't turn out quite perfect, but it'll do just fine. That's it. 40-inch LED flat screen TV out on my patio. Thanks again, Matthias. Take care. Bye-bye.
So what do you think of that? That's pretty clever. That Wally Bronson's a pretty clever fellow. Okay, now the winner of the iMuffs G6 Neon Orange is, let me see, his first name is Len, and I think Len has already won something from us before. It's Len Starkey. Len, I think I might have your email address from the last time. I think you won. If you didn't win before, that's fine. My old age creeping up on me, but I'll flick you an email through, and if you can send some details so I can send them off to George from iMuffs, from Reptiler. That'd be fantastic. Now, next week, I did say that I was going to do a very ambitious project. I'm going to try and build on the show, and I'll do a little bit during the week as well, like I did with the with my box there, a Lutyen bench. This is what they look like. They're absolutely beautiful, and you know what? I can't wait. It's one of those things where I've been saying for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm going to build myself a Lutyen bench. Well, it's getting to a stage now where things in the workshop are getting to the stage where I'm almost happy with it. And notice I didn't say totally happy, I'm almost happy. And that Lutyen bench, I'll paint it white, and I've got some New Guinea teak that I'm going to make it out of, and that'll be a lot of fun. Let me say, I'll just read through here. Thank you again to all of my patrons, and we'll be doing a Patreon meeting, Zoom meeting directly after the show. I'll turn this off and then get started over there. So if you want to join in, if you're one of the patrons, by all means, click the link that's in Patreon, in my Patreon page. If you're not a patron and you want to join in with, see what we chat about behind closed doors, become one of my patrons and you're straight in. So Len, had you won before or not? I can't remember. I thought your name seemed very, very familiar. So I'm going to tidy up that little hook and support arm during the week as well, and I'll report on Facebook how the solar panel upgrade is going. Anyway, thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Be nice to each other, and I shall see you all next week. Bye.